So as Amlet was sneaking into this camp or back to his camp where he was a slave, and all of a sudden he finds this guy who was trying to kill him when he was a kid. If you watch the beginning of the movie, and he looks at him, and with the sword in his hand, he he basically said, "Do you remember me when I was a boy?" And he just stuck his sword straight through his face, and I was like, "Wow, okay." Welcome back, movie nerds. I am your host, Tom. Today, I am reviewing a very special movie. Um, Unfortunately, this movie was not on my top 10 most anticipated film of the year. I don't know why. Now you're looking back, I feel pretty dumb for not putting this movie in. The movie today that I'm reviewing today is called The Northman. You guys might have heard of it. It is directed by Robert Edgard, as they call it, starring Alexander Skarsgård. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's also Nicole Kidman's in this, Ethan Hawke, Anya Taylor Joy is in this as well. You also get a special appearance of William Dafoe that's in here. Um, man, where do I start with this movie? Let's start with the director. It's directed by Robert Eager, and most of you probably know him from The Witch and The Lighthouse. I love The Witch, and actually, the funny thing is, Anya Taylor Joy was the one that's the star of that movie, and I loved it. I thought The Witch was very clever. It was very dark. Was very mysterious, and it had that dark tone and this very slow pace. You kind of know his type of movie, and a lot of his movies are very slow pace. And so The Lighthouse, I've seen it once. I still don't know what the hell I watched, and I still don't know what the hell was it about. I mean, I get it. I get the movie, but it's kind of like I'm still thinking about it. I still don't get it sometimes. And so, but this is his third feature film, The Northman. Let me right off the bat, this film is not what you think. A lot of people watch the trailer and they think, oh, this is like Braveheart. Like you're gonna see a lot of action, a lot of fighting. On the contrary, you don't get a lot of that. I mean, you get seeing some action, but this movie is very slow. It's very intimate. It's a very intimate film. You get to know the characters very intimately. It's a very small scale type of movie. You don't really, and that's a lot of all three of his movies are like that. It's not a broad like Avengers type of threat that's like that can ruin the whole world. This is very a small scale, has to do with character development. It is a very beautiful film. Beautiful. The cinematography is amazing. The tone is unreal. It's realistic, because back in those days, this is basically you follow a group of the Vikings, and they don't really have lights back in those days. So you have torches and stuff. So it's very dark and it's very authentic, and I appreciate that for that reason. Why I think he's one of the great director. Um, this movie, like I said, it's not a lot of action in it. It does has a feel of, if you probably heard of this movie called Lion King, as well as Hamlet. It's a mixture of those two movies. It is about a young boy who wishes his father's death, and that he wants to come back and get revenge for him. And ironically, his father was killed by his uncle, just like Lion King. So there's that element in there as well. It is a revenge film, and a lot of people say there's a lot of pretty brutal scenes, like killing and guts and all. There is very gory. I don't know. In my opinion, I've seen worse, but there's a scene in there that you might have heard me talked about in the beginning of this video that I thought was pretty gnarly, and so I appreciate that aspect of the authenticity of, I guess, how people get killed and die. He was it's really good in it. The dialogue is pretty Shakespearean. I guess that's the word for it. It's like a poetry. Each line comes in, and you just gets the sense of, it's almost like Romeo and Juliet type of movie. Um, what else? The last thing that I want to talk about, and that is the performance of these actors. You get the main actor who is played by Alexander Skarsgård. He plays Amlet, and he's incredible, guys. I don't know if you can have a more ripped body like he does. He is shredded like to the max. It's pure muscle. I don't even know if he had any fat in him. It's like I think he has six pack upon six pack. His six pack has six pack, and on top of that six pack has another six pack. It's a gorgeous human specimen, I guess you call it. That's how you call it. But I want to focus on he was great, and everybody else was great as well. But there was two characters that I thought was really that stood out, and that is Nicole Kidman playing the mother. And there is a twist in there. I'm not going to give it away. And the twist kind of threw me off. I was like, what? Like you see the perspective of a kid, and then you find out that years later that perspective is all wrong, and she throws that little twist in there, and I thought it was pretty incredible. Her performance, it's one of her best. Now people might not like her in being the Ricardos. I loved her in that movie. I thought she was great, a great performance in that movie. I think she was better in this one, and she didn't have a lot of screen time in this one as she did with being the Ricardo. Of course, you got the great Anya Taylor Joy, who she's good in everything. You've seen her in The Witch, you've seen her in Queen's Gambit, and now she's in this one. She shares about the same time screen as Nicole Kidman, but she was great as well. And her character to me was something that he threw in there to kind of like not throw Amlet off, but to kind of help build his character even more. Because if she wasn't in there, he was more of a one dimension character, and that is he just wants revenge. But when she comes into his life, he realizes that there's more to life than just revenge, and that there is other things that he could pursue and maybe focus on and be happy with. And because of her character, it helps him to see that. Now in the end, of course, this is a revenge film, and there is the ending of it is incredible. And I don't know if they were standing in real lava, but it looks real to me. It's incredible how this film was made and how it was shot. I love this movie. I think it's probably will be my top three movie of the years when it comes to the end of this year. Now, do I recommend this movie for everybody? No, I don't think this movie is for kids. Duh. I don't think this movie is for everybody as well. I think it's something that maybe most people probably won't go see this movie. It won't make the money that it should, and it's going to be a hard sell for me to tell you that you should go see this movie. But I do recommend this movie. I want you to go see it, but I can understand why if it doesn't intrigue you to do so. So out of 10, I give this movie 9.5. And I know there's a couple things there that I didn't like, but it's really nitpicking. But 9.5 out of 10, folks. Let me know if you've seen The Northman. Let me know if you think is what you think of it. I've had people on my Facebook that tells me it's depressing. I was not depressed one bit. I get if you've seen Hamlet. Hamlet is very depressing, in my opinion, if you watch it. But this one was not. I didn't find it depressing at all. I was engaged in the story. It's a very simple story, but the way Robert Eggers uh, tells the story, how he told the story, was made me like intrigued and kept me going. And I thought it was great. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it, if you haven't, comment down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, be kind.